Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope I find you well today. Welcome to this series, which I have termed Mentee Diaries, where I share with you some of the sessions that we have with our mentees on the Tech Girl Mentorship Programe. So in this particular session, one of my mentees wanted to know about saving. She was saying that she's really horrible at saving and she needs at least some tips on how she can be better at saving for a rainy day. So that was our discussion for the day. So these are her questions. Then she says that, do you have an effective monthly budget that you abide to? I do. I have an Excel spreadsheet where I've put in my income and I have put in my expenditure. You know, the various expenses in the month, the rentals, water, entertainment, groceries, school fees, travel, saving, you know, things like that. So I have the Excel spreadsheet, which is there, and I populate it every month. And I make sure, you know, I've made it in such a way that when I populate, it gives me a sum, and that sum should equal, you know, the income that I have for that particular month. And you find there's some, like for my savings, I've made it to be 10%, you know, of the income that I have. I've also set aside travel, which is also 10%, you know, and then groceries, there's a certain percentage, and then school fees. School fees is set. You know for a particular month how much of the school fees you're paying. So that's how I've made this spreadsheet in Excel. And I stick to it monthly. Every month I populate it and see. And then she said that, do you ever have these unexpected expenses? For example, let's say this is something you really want. Yes, that dress, shoes. But it was not planned or budgeted for. How do you go about that? Of course, you know, guys, we always have these things. You know, there's a sale somewhere, there's some last pair of shoes, and you can't wait for the next month to grab it, otherwise it'll be gone. There's a dress, or you go out, you know, you need to treat people unexpectedly. It happens. But what I do is that if I have to overspend maybe on my entertainment budget, I make sure that the next month I recover. Maybe I borrowed from a certain item. Maybe I borrowed from savings, you know, to populate the entertainment budget. I make sure that the next month I return that money. And how I do that is there are certain items like groceries and entertainment which you can actually reduce on that particular month. And when you reduce and you put back the value for savings, then it all has to still add up to the income that you have. So you play around with those figures and things that you can adjust. Of course, school fees you can't adjust. There's some things you can't adjust. Health, rental, water, electricity, you can't adjust those. But whatever I can adjust, I make sure I give it back, you know, to wherever I will have borrowed that money from. And then were you always big on the savings issue, or it's something that eventually came with time? I've been saving, but not really as I'm saving now. Why I got really big on saving now is because I've gone into contract work, you know, and when you're into contract work, you know, there are dry seasons and there are high seasons, you know. So when you're getting the money, you make sure you save for the time when you can spend months, you know, without a contract. So during that time, life has to go on. You have to eat, you have to have a roof above your head, you can still get sick, you know, you can still travel, all those things. So you have to make sure you can still afford those things even when you're not on contract. So yeah, it is sometimes, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the faint-hearted. If your heart is weak, make sure you get yourself a permanent job such that you're there until you decide to leave. But you can still learn. You know, for me, I also was on a permanent full-time employment before, and I ventured into contract work. Of course, it was tough the first month, actually realize that, okay, the contract is done. What now? What income is there? And it teaches you, one, to save, and also the second part is to be an entrepreneur. Don't just put your eggs in one basket. Make sure you have other things that you can do that can also bring in income. Don't just wait for one stream of income. Make sure you have a couple going on. Set up something which also will be able to provide you with income when one of the streams is dry. So that's also another tip I can give you, that if you're going to contract work, make sure you have a couple of streams that will give you income as well. If maybe you have to have a couple of months where you're not working, and that'll at least keep you afloat for a while. Also, another tip that I have for you today is that sometimes when we save, we are only thinking of maybe today and tomorrow. Okay, how will I feed today, tomorrow? How can I have a roof above my head? But don't forget also about old age. There'll be a time when you can't work. So if you have no savings, it'll be really difficult. And as you get older, your needs in terms of health, they also increase. So some of the things you can look at is when you still get the money, you can invest in property. You can't go wrong in property investment. You can do equities, markets. You can do buy shares, things like that for the long term. So, and there's so many companies that you can actually approach to look at what packages they offer and choose the one that is best for you. But you need to do that to invest also for the long term. And also another tip that I have sometimes for me now when I go and buy things, because I realize that at the end of the day, I had bags and bags of clothes, shoes, things which I didn't need. You see, I wanted them. Yes, I like them. They look nice. But the thing is, do I need them? That is a question you should ask yourself. So these days when I go out shopping and my eyes are being pulled, the pair of shoes or some dress, I look at it and I say, okay, do I really need this? And then half the time you realize, no, I have another pair which is still good, which I'm using. I'm still wearing, and really this one, no, I don't need it right now. So look at it that way. Do I want it? Do I need it? If you want it and don't need it, let it go. And then you find that you also save a chunk from there, which you can channel into buying shares or doing other things, saving, for the other things that you really need. So I hope these tips have been useful, helpful to you to save a bit more. And let me know how the saving is going, whether you've improved or how you've upped your game. And I'd really love to hear from you after you've done a bit of saving from your side. Otherwise, take care and have a great week.